So very quickly, I want to review the processes for you to author a sequence and just kind of familiarize you very quickly with the tools. I've provided some links to the LAMS International so that you can pursue those on your own, and I provided a video that I created some time ago, but it doesn't give you the actual clarity that you need, I believe, so I've added this one. So, username, I'm going to come on with my username, and you can see that it's DP Gagnon, and password, well, we'll keep that secret for now. So once you've logged in, what you should see is basically what I have created here. So this is the course site, TBL Collaborative. These are the tabs which you can explore on your own. The profile allows you to change and edit your password. The big one that you want to look at right now is author. So this is where you make the sequence, and I'll launch it now, and then I'll walk you through how you should understand the interface. All right, so there you have it. At the top here you have File, Edit, Tools, etc. These are all fairly standard for you. Now the big thing is, what you're going to do is, I'm going to open this, click on Open, and you can see now that it has a workspace. Now, I've created this workspace. There's nothing in it. This workspace is my own private space for me to save any sequence that I want. The only person who can access it, see it, is me. When you log in, you're going to have your own workspace, and that's where you will save your documents. The groups, my courses on the other hand, is where you will deploy the sequence that you've created. And if you are sharing a learning management system, or you're sharing this system with another instructor, they can see the same sequence. You can edit the sequence at different times, and you both have access to it. Public folder is for those sequences where everybody that is enrolled in the site has access, and it is a place for reusable shared learning objects. Now, let's go back to, I'm going to cancel this now. Let's go back to this interface. As I said in my other video, if you watched it, these are the tools that you will use, and this is your canvas here. Now I'm going to walk you through what we created for our template to drive the TBL delivery in the classroom, pre and post activities. So let's start off. Now, the first thing that you'd want to know is that I'm going to grab the notice board and I drag it. So it's a drag and drop. You put it out here, and then the next thing that we do, this notice board is where we provide a short introduction. And if you went through the introduction that we sent you earlier, that's Premin and myself, you will note that we had inserted a YouTube link. We embedded it in here, and this is one of the things that you can practice on your own. Now, first thing that we do is we create a notice board, and we introduce, or the faculty introduce, the content that the students have to preview before they come to class. So what is that content? Well, we're going to show you the content as resources. So I grab the shared resources and I put it out here. Now, after the shared resources, we are going to put a gate, because we don't want the students to go any further until they come to the class. So now you'll see this button says flow. Click on gate, pop it in here. All right, you got that? All right, now the next thing you want to do, we're not finished. This is the pre-part of the TBL classroom experience. So we need now to link these up. So let's click on transition. You click on it, grab it, notice board to shared resources, and drop it. You got that first link. And let's make the next one to the stop. There you go. Now, very important, let's start saving. So how do we do that? So we come up here to File, and we go Save or Save As. Now you'll notice that it defaults to my workspace. I click on that, and I give this a name. So we'll say TBL Test 1, and save it. Now, this is important. When you see this, congratulations, your design is valid, has been saved, that tells you you're safe to proceed. Now, at this point, I want you to notice down here on the bottom, there's a little square within a square. You click on this. Again. Make sure we've saved it again. All right, good. Now, click on the notice board. Click on shared. There we go. Double click on it. There you have it. Notice board. Now what we're going to do is we're going to change notice board. For us, we change it to getting started. You just type that in, click, it's changed up here. Same with shared resources. So because these are learning resources, we just simply go learning resources. Pardon the typing. All right. So there we go. Learning resources. Now, when we click on stop, we say there's a gate, and the permissions are as such. You can condition it, you can synchronize it, you can schedule it. In this instance, we are going to permission it. So in other words, we will open the gate in the classroom when the students are there. The other parts of conditions, etc., are more advanced, and you don't need to concern yourself with that now. All right, so this is what the students will do. Now, the other powerful feature here is that you want to see what this looks like, so you click on preview, and you get an instant instantiation of this on the web. Okie dokie dokie. Let's save it first. All right. Now, on the web, this is what it looks like. Notice board. You click next activity. It loads in the resource. And in this instance, you've sent them out to a URL. And click on finish. And then we come to the gate. And this is the first part of the development of this sequence. So let me recap for you very quickly what we've done. We've taken a notice board and we dragged it out and put it on getting started, and we've changed the name. We took learning resource, we took that from down here, shared resources, we dragged it out. Now if I put that here, how do I get rid of it? I just pull it down, click it into the bin, and it's gone. Now every time you do something, you get into the habit, click on save, and it's done. So this particular presentation, let's end here, because this will be one short snapshot of it, and then I will come back in and I'll take you through the next set of activities, which are the activities that occur when they come to the classroom. Thank you. Okay, everyone, I'm going to assume that you remember how to log in and you've come back to this landing page. Now we're going to continue to author the sequence, only this time when we author the sequence, we're going to add the IRA, TIRA, and application exercises, including the team setup and walking through the pièce de résistance, the scratching. All right, so remember, first thing you want to do is you want to go click on author. All right, you wait a few moments patiently while it loads. And now, remember, you need to pull this sequence that we've already started to create in your own space from the open folder icon. So now you can see my name, and you will have seen your name, and you will have seen the sequence that you created. So now we click on the test. You can see the information related to who created it, when, etc. Simply click open and pulls it up onto the canvas. All right. Recall that to view properties, highlight it, double click on it. The properties bar will show up down here. A couple of things I want to walk you through before we add to go beyond our stop. And the first thing I want to point out to you is this. When you double click on any of these tools, you will notice that they have basic, advanced, and instructions. For now, don't pay any more attention to the instructions because that's very irrelevant to what we're trying to do. So the basic is you can change the name here. So you can say welcome. All right, and here this is where you would embed, for instance, the YouTube video. You would take the embed HTML and pop it in here. So click on source. This is just a what you see is what you get editor. It's like working in a Word document. I don't think I need to spend too much time explaining that to you. Then when you've finished, you click save. You get this re-edit or close, which we will close, and then get used to clicking save just to make sure your work has been done. Now, learning resources, again, you'll see that this has a bit more of an interface that's related to adding content. So you can here in this particular tool, you can add a URL. You can add a single file, which is just going to from here and go to your desktop. You can add a zip website, which many of you will not do. You can add IMS content package. And then we have a link here to our iLecture, which is takes us to another resource. You won't have that because you don't have a system similar to ours. Now, click on the advanced, and you can see here that you can control how many URLs they have to look at, whether they can add files, whether you want to be notified if they add a resource, and you can add a notebook at the end. Come back more to that later. You can also find that information at LAMS International. Save it, close it, and save again. Now, the students, like you, have been given the introduction. They have been given the resources that they have to preview before class, and now they get the gate. When they come to class, we open the gate. But what we do here is we add a group. All right, and we change the grouping to team setup. And we do our link. All right, click on save. You're starting to get the sense of the order here. Now, team setup. We can randomize these, so as we have done with you, which is we randomly assign you to teams. Or you can choose in the monitor, or you can leave it up to the learner to choose. In TBL, not likely we're going to leave it up to the learner to choose. We can choose in the monitor if you want to set up the teams ahead of time, or you can have the students select the teams as per your initial assignment. We could talk more about that in the class later. So what are we going to do here? Team setup, we're going to put in 6 groups. All right, and the number of learners, we can say 5. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to say number of groups 6. And so at this point, you have to determine what it is that you're going to do to ensure that you have the requisite number of teams and the 5 to 7 assignments, and we can talk a little bit later about that. When you click names here, you can come in and put in team 1, for instance. Okay, so again, that's pretty simple. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to add your IRA, but in this instance, we use MCQ. So I put it down in here, and then I put my transition in. Sometimes you have to be a little bit more delicate with it. See? All right, Ernie will have to explain why this doesn't always work. All right, there we go. It's connected. Let's save it. All right, click on it. Multiple choice. Well, what we're going to say here is IRA. And there it is. There's the IRA. But there's something else we're going to do here. Notice the grouping. We need to assign this IRA to the group. So, important information here for you. Right? It's team setup. IRA, team setup. And it's the team setup here that determines the IRA here, so that they all get the same set of questions. Now, you leave the grade output, the way it is. After we've done that, we're going, in our instance, we put another gate in. We do this because this is the time when we're moving from their individual teams and setting up into their groups. So we put a gate there. The next thing we want to do now is that we've created the Scratchy to support a leader aware. In other words, this week Paul, with his 5 team members, is the team leader. In other words, I submit for all the rest of us. You all see what I am submitting, but I am the person doing the submitting. And the team leader can be rotated through each week. And the results of the team leader are recorded for the rest of the team via the team setup. Next thing I'm going to do, look for the leader aware. Now, you see here, leader selection, I pull that out. And again, we put in our transition. And hopefully we got it. Yay. Save. Select leader selection and grouping, team setup. All right. We want the team to be involved in this. So, very quickly, the team setup is done. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put another gate. And the reason we do this is to ensure that the leader setup is properly done. Oh, wrong one. Remember what you do? Push it over. So, flow, gate. I put another gate in here. These gates, we'll show you how to manage those later, but they're managed in the monitor. Done. Now, we do this because we want to ensure that the leaders have somebody in the group has taken the role of leader. Otherwise, if they go through and no one has selected leader, then no one can make an input. So this makes our job a little easier. So let me pull out the Scratchy. So there it is. We've named it the Scratchy. We're going to call it Paul Scratchy, but that may have had too many negative connotations. So we just put it as a link here. Now, the Scratchy is our pièce de résistance, but remember, we need to give it some features like team setup. All right. And remember the other thing that we want to do? We want to save it. And congratulations, your selection is saved. Very quickly, because I'm running out of time, it's 9 minutes, 28 seconds. Let's open up Scratchy. And we see here, under Advanced, give an extra mark at the first Scratchy attempt as the correct one. Add notebook at the end with the following instructions. And here is where we put the burning questions. And we'll walk you through that a bit when we're actually in Dallas, Fort Worth. All right, close. Now, save it again. And let's have a look at what we see when we go to preview mode. Now, folks, I really don't want to go through all this very quickly with you, so click Next Activity. Because I'm in preview mode, the gates don't stop you. So obviously you can see I'm going through. Group 4, that's me. All right, because it's random. Remember, it's random. Sample question, answer 1. Okay, good. Next activity. And now we come to the Scratchy. Okay, so, well, actually, the team leader, sorry. I want to become the leader. Yes, I do. And it gives the information. I click Next Activity. And now we come to the gate, which we put in there for purposes. Now we have the Scratchy. What is it? I selected A, you selected C. Now we discuss what it is, and you said to me, no, it is obviously B, Paul. So I click on B, and we get it wrong. Now I click, you all see it within a couple of seconds. Then I say, no, I told you it was A, and correct as usual, Paul is. All right, a little bit of fun. Now, after they've completed all of the individual, the team readiness is what we call it, and we're going to go back and change that. They put their burning questions. Why does Paul repeat himself? Because he's extemporaneously doing this is why he repeats himself so often. How is that? Okay, an example, and then submit. And then we get the burning questions, and we get a list of burning questions here. So I'm not going to spend too much time on that. We'll work our way through some of that when we get there. But this gives you an opportunity to practice. You'll see that I have finished. Congratulations, Paul. Yeah, thank you very much. And we complete it. Now, Scratchy, we simply are going to change this to Team Readiness Assessment. All right, done, save. All right, folks, so that takes us to the final activity, which is, to the gate we're going to put in here. Sorry, the final activity is this gate, because now they're going and we're going for a lunch break. All right, when we come back, I'll show you how we add the application exercises. In the interim, please take this model or take this video rather, and use this as a model for you to create your own sequence, save it, so that when we come to Dallas-Fort Worth and we gather together, we have some material that we can begin to work from. I hope this has made it a little bit more clearer for you. This is the only tutorial on Scratchy that I've created so far. I hope it is clear, and if you have any questions, you can email myself or Premin. Thanks so much.